Well, I recently saw a documentary, Oscar-nominated and very good, and it is about James Baldwin.
No.
It's called I Am Not Your Negro. The story of a man who fled 50s America and all of its racism and homophobia and was going to spend the rest of his life in Europe, but then he was brought back to the U.S. by the civil rights struggle. That there is an American hero. James Baldwin also wrote film criticism, and you may not know this, but you and he have something in common.
What would that be?
Both of you do not like Gary Cooper. Mr. Baldwin called Doris Day and Gary Cooper the most grotesque appeals to innocence the world has ever seen.
I think Doris Day had a little bit of an edge to her, which Mike Nichols saw. Mike Nichols wanted her to play Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate, but she turned it down. Think of that, world. Also, Henry Fonda, I find dull.
Yeah, but having seen Once Upon a Time in the West, how can you really still think that about Henry Fonda?
Well, yeah, that's true.
But the Lady Eve.
Okay, The Lady Eve, Grapes of Wrath, On Golden Pond, I'll give Henry Fonda all of that.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Sci-Fi July continues here in the basement, and I'm happy to say that tonight we go into space! Going into space is always a lot more fun when it's a little sexy. And that is why tonight we are watching
Barbarella.
Hey!
You want to know how I guessed?
I don't need to.
You'll find out in a minute if you've never seen the movie, kids.
Craig Johnson knows context clues.
I'm really surprised you left this one open.
You might recall on our last episode you said,
someday he'll tell me beforehand.
and I guess today I kinda did.
You did.
Released in 1968, starring Jane Fonda and directed by Roger Vadim, the screenplay was written by Terry Southern, among many others. Based on the comic book of the same name, Barbarella co-stars Anita Pallenberg, John Philip Law, David Hemmings, Marcel Marceau, and Welcome to the Basement alum Milo O'Shea as the villain Durand Durand. Not Duran Duran, which is the name of that band just behind your head.
What was Milo O'Shea in?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah, he played
Friar Lawrence.
Yeah.
In 1997, Duran Duran finally acknowledged their roots and released the song Electric Barbarella, which peaked at number 52 on the Billboard Hot 100. Have you seen this?
It was playing in a bar I was in just, 6 months ago. This is insane, and I can't imagine ever following the plot.
Well, you've got a head start. Would you like to take a trip into space?
Yes, I would.
All you need to do is open up this box.
It is a rocket patrol kind of pinball machine type thing. Works like this.
Rocket Patrol.
Safe for kids of all ages. See?
Fire the booster rockets. Take off. Fly through space. To the old leather couch. Oh, it's terrible. Fire those booster rockets and engage in docking procedures with the old leather couch as we enter into a 1960s sexy movie watching time called Barbarella.
Much better the second time, I'd say. PG? I'm already disappointed.
A spaceman enters a spaceship. Or is it a man?
A space? Whoa, man?
No, it's Barbarella. It sounds like the beginning of the Mike Douglas show.
Yeah, this is an entire genre of music that's just died. I wish I was better with anagrams. I could be hysterical at this point. Barber all a barber all.
And she gets undressed. Boy, does she ever. Get out of the way, David Hemmings. Look at all those screenwriters.
Get me Clement Biddlewood. Then she hits a button to turn on some G's and she falls right to the plush floor of her spaceship. She's a space heroine with a very fancy and posh space boat to go around in.
We get a call from the president of Earth.
Oh, let me put on something comfortable. It's like, no, don't bother. I'm cool. We have lost one of our finest scientists.
Durand Durand is the inventor of the positronic ray. It's a weapon.
You don't need to mansplain positronic rays to me, Mr. President.
He's at this place called
Tau Ceti. The trouble is we don't know anything about Tau Ceti or its inhabitants.
You mean they could still be living in a primitive state of neurotic irresponsibility?
Precisely.
neurotic irresponsibility. That's what I called my 30s.
President sends her some gadgets that'll help her out on her mission.
I'll just toss this in my closet with all my shoes.
Find Duran Duran and use all of your incomparable talents to preserve the security of the stars.
I'm just waiting for those mice to come out. Barbarella, Barbarella.
Night and day, it's Barbarella.
She takes a pill to go to sleep for the trip and tells the computer to wake her up when they get there.
154 hours later, she wakes up.
Barbarella, rise and shine.
Snooze. Magnetic disturbances are causing her ship to go haywire.
She's flopping all over the place. Planet Sparkler. Would magnets work in outer space?
I don't know. Everything I know about magnets I learned from the Insane Clown Posse.
Nah. This is trippy.
Usually when people say that, they sound a bit more happy.
Yeah, I know. It's because I haven't seen enough movies like this.
She crash lands on the planet and exits her craft to see a snowy landscape. Any minute I'm expecting Box to show up. Fish and sea greens. Plankton. Oh, who dis? Why, there are some twin girls there. They talk funny talk.
Wait, that's undone. Wait, let me adjust my tongue box.
My tongue box. Barbarella hops into a sled with them that is pulled by some sort of snow manta ray.
Or an ice skate, if you're into puns.
And they go to the wreckage of Duran Duran's spacecraft, Alpha 1. There are all kinds of little twins in there. Barbarella is tied up.
I don't want to hurt you.
Hurt them, hurt them, hurt them.
I want to see the movie take that turn. She just slaughters a bunch of kids like she's young Anakin Skywalker.
And the children get out their toys. Get me walnuts, quickly! They start to bite and torture Barbarella.
It's PG. For pretty graphic.
But she doesn't have to endure this for long because she is rescued.
I'm Markhand. I'm the catch man. I'm in charge of watching over the little kids, making certain that he has got some job.
Oh, I'm so weak and female.
I'll take you to your ship.
But there's no wind.
We don't need wind. We use farts. So if you'll please stand back.
If there's anything you need or that I can do, please tell me.
Possibly a head for your Wookiee outfit?
But he's only interested in one thing, making love.
That's so old-fashioned. We do this other thing on Earth. We take pills and we touch each other and it's really awesome.
I don't care for that.
You are far too woke for me.
But I like to do things the old-fashioned way.
Barbarella is shocked, but she acquiesces.
Have you ever done it in a fur tube? So they have the sex. She loves it. She's never done this before. That's how you do it with this big, hairy guy.
What she doesn't know is that now she has space crabs. She can't hang around here, though. She needs to go to Sogo.
Sogo,
Because that's where Duran Duran is.
which is where you need to go.
Are you coming with me to Sogo?
No go.
Go, that's the thing they did in the 60s. But what she doesn't know is that Sogo's a subterranean city, and so it smashes the spaceship right back into the planet. Barbarella! She's in this weird underground labyrinth.
She sees this guy with great big wings. He's Pygar, and he's an angel. Pygar lives here in the labyrinth, with the rest of the slaves to the tyrant. Pygar is also blind.
Professor Ping found me.
I can't wait to meet Professor Ping, because Professor Ping turns every mahjong party into a ping-pong party. There's a deep cut for you, folks. Episode 2. Her ship has been damaged. She meets Professor Ping.
Yeah, I can totally fix your ship. I'm a genius doctor.
Pygar informs Barbarella that he can't fly. His wings have been damaged. But Professor Ping says no, he just doesn't have the confidence.
It's a nest.
That's where I live.
Are you hungry? I can regurgitate some food into your mouth. She goes to Pygar's nest, and they make love. Now, Pygar has the confidence he's flying around like a bird.
She just gave him some Red Bull.
He can fly her to Sogo. Just follow the sounds of Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. On their way to Sogo, they are beset by black guards in spacecraft.
Pygar, watch out!
I can't watch anything.
Try to hide behind that mountain.
What mountain? She shoots down all the ships.
They get to Sogo. There's all kinds of seedy individuals.
Because everyone in Sogo is evil.
Barbarella is separated from Pygar, runs afoul of these two dudes, and she's rescued by this woman. I'm a woman who's capable of doing things. She finds Pygar. They go into something called the
chamber of ultimate solutions, and they will lead you to some sort of horrible death. A man shows up to save her. Again.
He is the concierge to the tyrant. He tells her all about the Matmos, which is a magnetic lake, and it provides the city with energy, but it's also unstable and evil. Barbarella finally meets the great tyrant, the Black Queen, and it's that woman who rescued her in the street.
There he is.
Decrucify the angel. I warn you.
How dare you endanger my face?
Well, that was easy, now wasn't it?
Our hero.
This weapon is as harmless as a child's toy.
Meh.
Barbarella is disarmed instantly and effortlessly, and she is taken by the concierge to something called the Birds. For those of you who are familiar with Alfred Hitchcock, you know exactly what this is going to be.
Oh, killed with parakeets.
Barbarella gets out of this jam like she gets out of every jam by being rescued by a man. His name is...
Dildano.
What?
You can call me Steely Dan.
Dildano is a revolutionary, and he wants the people in the labyrinth to rise up against their oppressors. But meanwhile, he wants nothing more than to make love. Barbarella hops in bed and says, let's do it. And he says, no.
I want to try to do it the Earthling way, you know, with the pills and the hand touching.
I got the pills and everything. I can't find the pill. All I can find is these damn condoms.
And so they do it.
Their hair gets all crazy. It's pretty funny. Sorry, I gotta say it. Now that's what I call a hand job. Black Queen is inside the Chamber of Dreams. You can use the invisible key to open the invisible wall to get in there and get her.
And she gets shot out of a tube. So that's what Augustus Gloop feels like.
Barbarella is captured once again by Duran Duran. We must capture Barbarella. Simply walk slowly up to her and do it. And he puts her into some sort of sex piano.
This is a pleasure machine. Yeah, I'm gonna just tootle away at this when you're gonna die from sexual pleasure.
What is this thing?
I'm toying with Orgasmatron Orgasmatic.
The Orgasm 3000.
Oh, I know what it's called. The sex organ. She's getting wildly fugued. And her orgasm is so intense that it destroys the machine.
No, Barbarella, why did you have to break my machine, says the concierge.
Who Barbarella soon finds out is actually...
Duran, what have you done with the positronic ray?
All persons and objects in this path are deminimalized to the 4th level.
What?
I know how.
Now I'm Peter Pan.
More like Peter Pantsless.
Tona actually said that joke first. He takes her to that Chamber of Dreams, and he locks her in, and he takes both invisible keys. And if there's 2 people in the Chamber of Dreams at the same time, that means the Matmos is going to get him. Does any of this make sense to you? If it does, good for you.
Who's a tyrant now, and I'm going to take over the universe? Ha ha!
We are doomed. Doomed.
Doomed! Doomed!
Duran Duran has declared himself the new ruler, but that is interrupted by reports that there's an uprising in the labyrinth.
The creatures in the labyrinth, they're revolting.
They're revolting.
They're disgusting.
Ugh.
Fool! Liar! Idiots!
Dummies, knuckleheads,
Numbskulls.
poo-poo brains. All right, it's time for me to use that positronic ray and quell the uprising. Yeah, get him, Double D. Call him Double D. The Black Queen says, I know how we can get out of here. I'm going to free the Matmos.
The apocalypse.
But a protective bubble protects the tyrant queen and Barbarella.
I'll destroy you with my positronic ray!
Oh, the number of times I shouted that in the 9th grade.
You win, Barbarella!
Yes, you win, Barbarella, because of all those things you did. And they find Pygar.
And off they fly into the stratosphere.
What did you save her for after all the terrible things she's done to you?
An angel has no memory.
And that's the end of Barbarella. An angel has no memory. That's the last line of this movie. And I almost see it as a message to the audience. Hey audience, did you like this movie? Did you hate it? Doesn't matter, because you'll forget it completely in about a half hour.
All you'll think is, I think I saw Jane Fonda naked at some point in my life.
Yep. Has there ever been so incompetent a heroine as Barbarella?
This is going to be great. We're going to have a Wonder Woman type thing. She's going to kick ass. She's going to be pro-sex. But no, just turns out she's pro-sex.
Not only is she in constant need of rescue, but she doesn't seem capable of doing anything. No. Everything that happens, she's baffled and confused, and she falls over.
Help! I gotta get rid of this tail.
If only I had solutions.
There's only one thing that she does in the entire thing, and that is outdoes the Orgasmatron.
So sex is her ultimate weapon and her ultimate salvation. I found this movie completely devoid of substance. There are no stakes, and nothing means anything. I didn't even know what her mission was. To bring Duran Duran home? Or he's a good scientist?
Yeah.
I did enjoy the visuals, even the psychedelic ones.
The visuals were impressive, but there was no logic behind the visuals.
Sure.
The dream chamber, where he had the spinning lenses. Okay, that's cool looking, but why? She has this ship, and it's got shade carpet everywhere, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Why?
Yeah.
With a set design, you have to have a functionality to what everything is. You can't just be like, I've always wanted to see a furry room.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We did not have the why, but at least we had that's cool.
There was one great aspect of the movie, and that was David Hemmings, which I wasn't expecting. The comedy stylings of David Hemmings.
That scene was a delight. It was really what the movie needed at that point.
Yeah. This is a bad movie, but it has this one diamond in the middle of everything. So it's very, very funny. And at the same time, it's sexy in this weird, entirely new way.
And in contrast to David Hemmings, we have John Philip Law, who played Pygar, who just makes the most boring acting choices you could possibly make. Pygar is in so much of the movie, and he is so dull.
You had Marcel Marceau, and he did nothing physical in the movie.
There was a scene with an invisible wall, for God's sake, and they couldn't bring Marcel Marceau in for that. Come on! I can find the keyhole. Oh, there it is. Rated PG. There was a hell of a lot of nudity. There was a lot of twisted violence and just a lot of kink. I'm shocked that this would be rated PG.
PG back then stood for plethora of genitalia.
What does this movie say about the sexual revolution?
In Steve Martin's book, Born Standing Up,
which I just read,
he talks about the sexual revolution. It was a part of history where men tricked women that it was really cool to have as much sex as possible, and then the women caught on and it was over. I've heard an interview with Jane Fonda where she talks about Roger Vadim, who was her husband, the director of this movie, and how she didn't realize at the time that she was being manipulated by him into all of this insanity. Insanity! What does this movie say about the revolution that was going on in the 60s? The peace activists, the thing that Jane Fonda was so famous/infamous for. What does it say about that?
It says that war leads to Armageddon.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Except for 3 people.
And one of them's the bad guy.
Exactly. At the end, we have Barbarella and pure good and pure evil. But then we also have Duran Duran, and his evil is built off of truth. Truth equals power. Truth is not good. Truth is truth, and it's better. And I hate that sentiment. To know the truth about something will make you evil or will corrupt you or something like that. On the other side, you have the angel who has no memory at all.
Yeah.
So his truth is complete ignorance and stupidity. This movie came out in 1968. When did Yellow Submarine come out?
1968.
Zabriskie Point came out in 1970.
Yep.
So we had this little stretch of time when movies were just bonkers. And then after this little stretch here came one of the greatest periods in filmmaking ever. People were just allowed to get away with anything, but it was also really quality. People were just so ready to accept anything. They would take the bleakness of Taxi Driver and Main Streets, that they would take just like 3 hours of brooding, like in The Godfather, just the nihilism of Chinatown. They're like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to accept this great art because they're actually using storytelling.
Well,
and that led to like this brilliant decade of film, and that's what we need to do again. Burning it all down so we can start over.
Despite the presence of the lovely Barbarella, this movie failed to turn me on or get me off. Mentally.
Yeah.
At this point in the show, we would normally have customer comments, but I'm doing a little retooling of the format of the show, so those will come later. And for now, it's time for Seen It.
Seen it? So soon?
A chronological inconsistency, especially a juxtaposition of persons, events, objects, or customs from different periods of time. That is anachronism, and that is the theme for Seen It tonight. Anachronism is a very tricky thing to do in a movie. When you do it well, you get The Princess Bride. When you do it poorly, you get Shrek.
I like Shrek.
Pablo Barón writes The Princess Bride. And I can't believe it took me this long. Seen It.
Seen it.
I think this is Rob Reiner's best movie.
Which is saying a lot because he started out with 5 or 6 nearly perfect movies.
It's so funny. It's a great adventure, and it's really romantic. This might be the best date movie ever made. And there's stakes, and there's darkness, and there is a lot of anachronism, and they do it so well.
What anachronisms are in there?
Just the way they talk is so modern. The things they say, calling something the rodents of unusual size. Mm-hmm. Miracle Max is basically Billy Crystal's modern old Jewish guy.
Yes.
It definitely has its foot in 2 different times, and it also is this just perfect storybook movie. We, the audience, are the sick kid watching it, and the movie just draws you in so completely.
Why would any man want to see a movie called The Princess Bride? It's probably why the movie bombed when it came out, because it's got both princesses and brides in it. I prefer that movie with officers and gentlemen. Sean Henry writes, speaking of Elliot Gould, as one does, have you seen The Long Goodbye, Altman's summary of film noir? Seen it.
Seen it. I have a story to tell about this.
Go ahead.
It is my favorite Robert Altman movie.
Wow, okay.
I seldom buy DVDs these days because everything is available everywhere. But I decided I was going to buy a Blu-ray copy of this and add it to my collection because it's that good. The DVD arrived, sat on my kitchen table for a while. A couple weeks later, I was going to go to watch it. It was gone. I tore the house apart looking for this thing. It is gone. There is a ghost in this house that hates Robert Altman.
Or hates Elliot Gould.
But this movie is great. The anachronism is Elliot Gould's Philip Marlowe character, who seems like a man plucked from one time and inserted into another.
Because that is what he literally is. Philip Marlowe's stories were written 30 or 40 years prior to the 1970s when this movie was filmed.
Normally he plays the nebbish so well, and in this, he's just got the cool slacker thing down. He's like the dude several decades before The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, the dude with a nicer suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Arnold Strong in the movie as well. You know, Arnold Strong later changed his name back to Schwarzenegger.
Is he billed as Arnold Strong?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Every time I watch this, I forget Schwarzenegger's in it, and then he shows up.
And you're like, oh, of course you're here. Welcome.
Major Mundo writes, seen it, Shanghai Noon. Yes, seen it.
Not seen it.
I went and saw this in the theater because my friends were going on and on about it. They said it's so funny. It's a kung fu western. It's got these 2 guys cracking jokes.
It's got Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson.
It's great. And I went and saw it, and I really didn't like it. I thought the jokes were dumb. They pushed the anachronism too far. Owen Wilson's saying, I don't know karate, but I know crazy. Just doesn't work.
Brutalist says, seen it. Marie Antoinette, directed by Sofia Coppola, was personally torn hard between the terribly boring plot and visually beautiful scenes. Seen it.
Seen it, and I think I would tend to agree with you. I thought this movie was very visually stunning, but it really kind of left me cold. I thought it was a bit dull.
I like the use of the modern music.
That is the anachronism of this film.
Yes, showing that these are just party kids.
Just the general kind of punk rock aesthetic of it.
I don't know if it was Louis or Marie just historically said, we are too young to rule. And so you get to see these people who are like, oh, I guess we're the king and queen now, and we're going to just do what we can. I found it very interesting, but, you know, I like history.
Well, I didn't dislike it because I don't like history.
I know. It's tied in with Sofia Coppola's great theme, which is, that goes through a number of her movies, which are Poor Little Rich Kids, which I can only tolerate for so long.
I really do like her as a director.
Oh, yes, I do too, yeah.
She's really made us forget about that whole Godfather 3 business.
Which is amazing. I'm hoping that Jar Jar Binks directs something sometime soon. So that, and it's like, oh, I didn't know Binks had this in him, but wow, he's
a director now.
If you have a suggestion for seeing it, leave it in the comments down below.
And check out our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all of our episodes, and there's a PayPal donation button, 2 of them in fact. You can make a donation to our show, a single donation or a rolling monthly donation. Right now I'd like to shout out some of our rolling monthly donors: Austin, Jared, Jonathan, Sean, and Kai. Thanks, guys.
And if you do donate, you will hear your name on our unboxing show, which is a satellite program of Welcome to the Basement.
That comes out this Friday. We will open our mail. We get special packages and postcards and letters. And also, there are special surprises, so you should definitely check that out. Thanks for watching Barbarella with us. And now, this. Yeah, you're right. It's not a good idea.
Barbarella!